In what ways does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? For this question I will be looking at the two media packages I have analysed, and I will be seeing how I have used, developed and challenged conventions from these media packages used. First of all, I will evaluate my poster and compare it with the two posters from my media packages. These are Kiddlehood and Bullet Boy. To start with, I am going to be looking at the media conventions I have used on my own poster. We can see that I have used a star rating and a review quote towards the bottom of the page. This is a feature that was used by both Kiddlehood and Bullet Boy, although Kiddlehood heavily used the convention as they had the star along with the review. However, Bullet Boy only had a single word and the name of the publisher below. I decided to follow Kiddlehood more closely as I felt it was more engaging with viewers and looked a lot better. I have inserted review quote from the film magazine that can be associated with younger audiences today. My magazines were called Sense and Film Today. I decided to try and make my magazine names that would appeal to younger viewers while also showing them that the magazines were reputable. When looking at the layout and positioning of the features on my poster, we can say that I have used and followed the conventions from both of the posters in my textual analysis. One noticeable feature is that both of the posters I analysed use a landscape layout, whereas I used a portrait layout. I purposely decided to do this as I felt a portrait layout would look much more professional. My focus group also told me this. In a way, I did challenge the conventions from the posters I analysed, as when looking at the posters for the film Shank, we could say that I have followed the layout of this poster more closely. However, I have used elements from Kiddlehood and Bullet Boy, for example, the pull quotes and the positioning of the text on the page. I followed typical conventions of social realism posters by placing the title of my film in the top third, and the building blocks and the release date in the bottom third. When looking at the Bullet Boy poster, I was not very keen on using this layout, as I thought it was far too simple, and too much emphasis has been put on the image that was used. My focus group also told me that the Kiddlehood poster looked much more professional and engaging. We can see that I have followed the convention of using a review with stars at the top of it. I have done this with my poster, however we could say that I have developed it as I have added 2. I decided to add 2 as it is far more informative in telling audiences about the film. By doing this it would engage them and perhaps convince them to go and watch the film in the cinemas. Additionally, by doing this, my poster does not look empty and it does not have blank spaces, whereas when looking at the Bullet Boy poster, we can see that a large amount of the top of the poster is left blank, and the image plays a large part. I did not want to do this with my poster and wanted to engage my viewers and not leave them hardly no information. When looking at the institutions on my poster, we can see that I have used the UK Film Council lottery funded, Hanway Films, Dolby Digital and Revolver Entertainment. These were institutions that were also seen on the Kiddlehood poster. I did look at my Bullet Boy poster for institutions, however I found that there were not many I could use. There was only one, Verve Entertainment. This could be because Bullet Boy is a much lower scale film and did not have as much funding as Kiddlehood, therefore did not have the backing of bigger institutions. The institutions that are visible on my poster are well known for making British social realism film, therefore they are reputable. This could appeal to British audiences as they would already know about these institutions and know that they are associated with British film. A benefit of using these institutions is that my poster automatically gains credibility, whereas the Bullet Boy poster on the other hand does not have the backing of any larger institutions. This could connote that it is not a good film and does not have the backing. When looking at the Kiddlehood poster, we can see that there are very gloomy colours, especially with the dark sky. I have tried to portray this with my trailer. Therefore, I did not take my picture when it was sunny. I had decided to go out in gloomy weather. I took it against a brick wall to again connote an urban feel. This would also connote to audiences that my film is set in an urban area. I have also followed the convention of setting my film at a typical time. It would not be common for the main character to be out with a baseball bat during the day, therefore I have followed conventions. When looking at mise-en-scène, I can see I have closely followed the clothing conventions. When looking at the Kittlehood poster, we can see the character on the right is wearing a hoodie with jogging bottoms, and the three other males on the poster are all wearing hooded jackets. I have done the same thing, whereas I am not wearing my hood. Instead, I am wearing a hat. This is also evident in my trailer. I have decided to do this to show my viewers that the main character on the poster is not a bad character. He is trying to change his life, and therefore I am trying to inform my viewers about the narrative of the film. And by putting the character's hood up, I could portray that he is a bad character, and this could confuse viewers. On my poster we can see a negative representation of youth with the use of a baseball bat. I decided to use this prop on my poster as it is a big part of my narrative and is also heavily used in my trailer. So by doing this I am informing viewers. By dressing my character in a hooded jacket and jogging bottoms, I am representing different social classes. This is something that needed to be focused on, as I am creating a social realism film, and different social classes will be a big part of my film. The location they live at and the background they have will also play a big part in my trailer, website and poster. Therefore, I have tried to use the conventions of using urban settings to follow conventions. When looking at the Kittlehood and Bullet Boy poster, we can see that a majority of the characters are all from ethnic minorities. For example, we have black characters and one Asian character. These males play most of the major roles. Therefore, when using my poster, I decided to use this convention, as I found it would not be beneficial for me to use a white character, as this could confuse viewers and they would not be able to figure out what kind of role he is trying to play. We can see that a black majority was used in these films. However, I decided to challenge the convention in a way, as I thought it would be more beneficial for me to use an Asian character. I did this so that my media package became unique, and this could appeal to a wider audience, rather than having the typical black male young protagonist. I decided to use somebody from an ethnic minority, as this also went with the location of my film, as I have set it in an urban location. Therefore, somebody associated with a council house style homing would be typically of an ethnic minority. Therefore, I tried to use this convention. Another noticeable feature about when looking at both the Bullet Boy poster and Kittlehood poster is that all of the characters are of a young age. They are portrayed to be still in school or education. However, this is not just with the posters I have analysed. We can also see this is also the case with Shank. When looking at the front of the poster, we can see that all of the characters are of a young age. Therefore, I wanted to follow this convention closely and did the same thing of using a young character. I decided to do this as this would help my narrative and show viewers that this character is trying to better himself and create a better life for himself. An advantage of using young characters is that this is also the target audience that I am aiming my film at. This can be seen in my research stages. When looking at information on both the Bullet Boy poster and the Kittlehood poster, we can see the use of a web address. This would allow audiences to easily view the website. This is definitely an advantageous feature, as by doing this, viewers would always have an interest. They would not simply see the poster and forget about it. They would be able to access information online. This could be further enhanced by social networking sites. This would also ensure that viewers do not simply forget about the poster once they have seen it. They can look up the film, this website, and even engage by listening to the soundtrack, downloading downloadable content, or looking at the characters that will be in the film. This will keep them interested. When looking at both of the posters that I have analysed, we can see the use of a tagline. However, this is not just a convention of social realism posters, this is a convention of all posters in general. However, when looking at the Kittlehood poster, we can see that I have closely followed the convention of how they have used their tagline. Theirs says before adulthood comes, and with an ellipsis then follows Kittlehood. This creates a sense of enigma. I tried to do the same. I wrote above the name of my title, every action, followed by an ellipsis. This shows viewers that it has not ended. Then I put the name of the film Cornered. This connotes a sense of aggression and a problem will occur. And then I finish off my tagline, has a reaction. Altogether, my tagline reads, every action has a reaction. This definitely creates a sense of enigma, as viewers would want to see what that reaction is. This was also evident in my audience feedback, as they said this was a very good feature, and viewers will want to know what has happened and what the reaction is. By adding this tagline, I have made my poster unique, as it is not something that another poster has used. And this also helps viewers to understand the narrative of the film without giving too much away. When looking at my poster, we can see there is a date, in cinemas, April 2013. Although this is vague, it is still a date. Although when looking at my Bullet Boy poster and Kidulthood Hood poster, we can see that there is no date available. This in turn would force viewers to go online and seek further information. However, I decided to use a date, and this challenges conventions. The reason I decided to use a date was I wanted to inform my viewer and not leave them without telling them vital information. I thought that this would hopefully appeal to them. This worked out, as my audience feedback told me that this was good, as they knew the vital information that was needed when looking at a poster. I further followed typical conventions by using the name of the producer or who has made the film. I have written a Kieran O'Dedra film. This is visible on the Kidulthood Hood poster and the Bullet Boy poster. I've decided to follow this, as this is a typical convention of British film. This could be because often British social realism films are directed by unknown directors that are not very famous in the industry. Therefore, an opportunity is created for directors to get their name out there. Although I have followed a lot of conventions, I also decided to develop conventions. For example, the layout of my poster. It is unique, although it has been inspired by Kidulthood Hood and Bullet Boy, both put together. For example, on the Kidulthood Hood poster, there is a single review quote at the top. I have not decided to do this, although I have used a review quote. I decided to add two, however, put them in the middle of the page. I decided to do this as I thought it would put more of an emphasis on the review quote and hopefully bring audiences in. As there are 5 stars, this is a very positive feature. We could also look at the semantic elements that can be seen. For example, on the Kidulthood Hood poster and the Bullet Boy poster, we can see the use of a gun. On the Kidulthood Hood poster, we can see a skyline in the backdrop and the use of a baseball bat. I have decided to develop this convention. For example, I have used a bat on my poster and not used an iconic backdrop. I decided to use the bat as it clearly portrayed that my film was social realism and also gave a bit of the narrative. Although in a way my poster has developed conventions, as I have not used a standard location like Kidulthood Hood has. For example, we can clearly see the skyline of an urban area. I have decided to use a plain brick wall. This creates a sense of enigma. I have decided to use conventional costume, although this has been developed in a way, as there is only a single character and there is no iconic backdrop, therefore the emphasis has been put on this single main protagonist. By using a single character, my poster is much clearer and not overcrowded. There is no ensemble cast. Although this could persuade viewers to go online and search the cast section of my website. By doing this, I could also persuade viewers to access the website using social network links. This again would widen the awareness of my film. We can see that some conventions have been completely challenged. For example, with the Bullet Boy poster, the Kidulthood Hood poster, and also other posters from social realism genre, like Shank, we can see that ensemble casts are used. For example, with the Kidulthood Hood poster, there are 6 main characters visible on the poster, whereas I have only used one single character. The reason for me doing this is because I did not want my poster to look overcrowded. I wanted the focus to be on one main character. I have also challenged another convention. When looking at my Kidulthood Hood poster, we can see that they have clearly named the artists that are going to be in the film. However, I have not done this on my poster. I have decided to do it on my website and trailer. However, the reason for this was because I thought it would not be beneficial to put the name of artists on a poster. Although if it was on a website, they could easily search the name of artists. This would be more beneficial and viewers and audiences would have ease of access. By using the release date, I have in a way challenged conventions, as neither the Bullet Boy or Killed poster do this, although I have decided to use the date as I thought it would inform my viewers about when the film would be coming out, and I wanted to give them some information so that they would not be left without knowing the vital details.